home cooking conspiracy, and we got a treat for you tonight. Well, actually, not really, because we're working with clam pasta. But we're gonna go do some work. I'm celebrating tonight. I had a good day at work. So, without ado, let's get started. There we go. So we got white wine. We got some canned clams. Probably want to use them all. What's going on, Mr. Man? We got some linguine. Got some garlic. Tomato paste. Clam juice. We'll see if we use that or not. A shallot. And some fresh parsley from the garden, you know. So, this one's going to move fast once we get started. So we're going to prep all our ingredients ahead of time. I do have water warming up in the other room. Oh shit, I know the story, Mr. Man. Good day at work, though? What's going on, Just Looking? How you doing? The guy 87. How you doing? Man, I gotta bet that your recruiter didn't let you into the Air Force because you really do love that flyboy thing, don't you? That being said, this drink is gonna be in salute to all those that work, or trying to work, or would work if they could. You know, gotta support my working fellows. I'm doing pretty good, you know. A little bit depressed because I can't find fresh clams around here, so we're gonna try to make do with what I can find. Because y'all know, you know, eating clams is a great pleasure. Yeah, well, that's one approach, you know. I feel like maybe the answer is to start a Chipotle in Hawaii because Chipotle isn't out here. They got an established business model, and I gotta imagine they've looked at the cost and, you know, the potential of expanding into Hawaii, but they haven't. So I don't know. These things happen once in a while, guy 87, but you know, when you're cooking mussels, clams, I mean, if they got a beard, it's generally best just to pull down and then it comes right off, you know? Yeah. So let's see what we got here. We got a shallot. We're even gonna use a trash bowl tonight, so we're doing pretty good. Oh shit. Alright. So I got a shallot. Sorry, trying to record for the long form at the same time. We'll see how that goes. First time trying that. Got a GoPro mounted above, you know. Oh, yeah, no, it's all about the preparation. You need to make sure the clam's prepared properly before you eat it. The guy A7, I mean, one thing about eating seafood is you want to make sure it's clean, and it's really important to know where it comes from. That's why sometimes frozen clams is better, or canned clams or whatever. Anything that you know has been prepared safely, you're not going to get any type of illness. But if it's fresh, you know, and it's been sitting out all day, yeah, buy your seafood in the morning. I'm just making 1 to 2 servings of this. Well, thank you, Mr. Man. You know, your life's good. I'm not gonna go crazy on that. You know, just half a shallot. That's gonna be plenty. I'll give you floaties, but nothing crazy. So we're definitely gonna need some garlic. Yeah, don't go crazy. I think 3 decent sized cloves is gonna be more than enough, you know? Go ahead. Go ahead, give them a good crush. That should help you get the peel nicely. Now that you give him a crush, go ahead and remove that peel, you know? Yeah, well, maybe you want Dracula eating on you. I'm not here to yuck your yum, Guy 87. But that brings up a good point, though. I mean, if you're just cooking for yourself, you know what you like, it doesn't really matter. But if you're cooking for other people, you definitely can ruin a dish by overpowering it with garlic. What's going on, Eddie? How you doing? So let's go ahead and give this a good mince. You could also grate it or whatever. It doesn't need to be super fine or anything. I mean, but you do want to give it just a good quick mince, and then, you know, you're using canned clams, so it doesn't need to be super. Yeah. What's going on? Who's linguine? Yeah, fuck it. 267. What's going on? That sounds like a number from the Squid Games. Good show. Not great. Alright, so I got the garlic ready. Yeah, what else do we got prepped here? Got some parsley. I'm not a stem guy. I don't like taking the shaft, so we're just going to pull the leaves off and just use those. If you want to use the leaves for stock or, you know, I don't know, a salad or something, be my guest. But I'm not going to do it. What's going on, FRA? I think you're right, Steve. Well, I wrestled, so I've done both, Steve. Well, please educate me, Black Barbie, you know? And I'll tell you what, there's probably a lot of things I know how to do that you don't, you know? Linguine, clams. You know? A lot of good fish and seafood in Hawaii, but not really that much great shellfish. I appreciate it, Peter North. Check out my Orange Crush video. Now you're not trying to cut all the flavor onto the board, so don't get too head chop happy. Alright, we got that. We got our wine open. Let's go ahead and get our canned goods open. What's going on, Lakita? No name, whatever. Yeah, well, you gotta do your time, FBA. So, we just got some tomato paste. Let's go ahead and pop the top on that. Once I start actually cooking, it's only going to take about 10 minutes or so. So this is going to be good. Welcome back, Daddy. And I would be willing to bet your lips are dry too. Take that as you will. But hey, maybe you know something about chronic dryness. And I should be listening and learning. You know? Ooh, we're not going to need clam juice because there's plenty of juice in here. So that'll be pretty good. It's good advice, Dottie. You do the same. Yeah, so we got all our ingredients open that we're gonna need. Yeah. Cheers to Dottie's the Hottie's Dry Lips Chronic. Alright. Let's keep our workspace clean here. I think we're officially done with cutting stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way. Alright, let's go ahead, let that, warm up here a little bit. Well, I wouldn't be cooking at 9:30 on YouTube if I didn't have a job, Dottie. What's going on, Danny? How you doing? Well, Lakita, I would have thought that would have put you in line for a promotion. You have an embarrassing tattoo or something? You could have also tried saying it was revenge porn. Sometimes that gets you out of a jam. Well, are you implying you don't have nice boobs, Lakita? I'll buff out, hon. Well, one day at a time, Lakita. You just gotta find out what works for you. Control what you can control, deal with what you can't, What's going on, brown girl? How you doing? Let's go ahead and give a healthy glug of olive oil in there. Maybe that's too much, maybe it's not enough, who knows? No, I'm recovering from Tuesday night, actually. Yeah, it's always good to have an alias, So we got this over medium low. We're gonna go ahead and put our shallot in. we'll just start letting that cook a little bit. And then with onions or shallot or whatever, yes, brown girl, it is olive oil. It's on the fence between using butter or thinking about adding some cream, but I'm gonna skip it here. Well, Dottie, I think that's just a name that her mother chose. I mean, what the hell is Dottie short for? Doris? Yeah, well, I'm willing to bet she ain't Greek, the guy 87. And I'm willing to bet she doesn't know the Pythagorean theorem either. Oh shit, Toto. We're not in Kansas anymore. Yeah, that's not an item on the menu that I eat. Sorry, Dottie. Oh yeah, the makeup sex would be insane, Makita. Hey, to each their own. The guy 87, not my style, but you can't knock it till you try it, I guess. That may be one of them situations where it's better to receive than to give. What do I know? We're going to take a good handful of pasta. That's maybe a serving and a half, 2 servings, something like that. Well, it's going to be enough. Yeah, Dolly's cute. I don't know what you're saying, Zesty Vids. Well, that sounds like a porn star. Well, not porn star, amateur OnlyFans trying to do some advertisement here. Oh, shit. So the shallots coming along nicely. I think we're probably good to start our pasta. Now, when you're cooking pasta, make sure to salt your water. That's how your pasta gets seasoned. It's very hard to get your pasta seasoned afterwards if you don't. Check your box for how long to cook it for. 10 minutes. Perfect. Pasta's boiling away, so we're now on the clock. So let's go ahead and turn our heat up a little bit. Good for you, Lakita. Concur, guy 87. I'm going to refrain from the comeback that I had, Dottie. Yeah, you can't hear it, Zesty, Alright. Let's see, my shallot's translucent or whatever, so I thought it was probably good to go. Garlic in, we're going to give it probably about 30 seconds or so. You don't want it to burn. Once you really start smelling that garlic smell, it's good to go. Yeah, we can turn it down to the heat now. what? We can retard the cooking process by adding a little bit of white wine. Let's add some of that clam juice. We'll add our clams later. I don't want them to overcook. I mean, they're canned, so they're probably already done. So really, I'm just going to want to warm them up at the end of the day. All right? This is called art. Man, have you ever ate clam before, Dottie? Bring that up to a simmer, and you know, this way it has a chance to reduce for about 10 minutes or so. And then if you want it red, go ahead and add some tomato paste in. That's probably more than I needed, but it'll be okay. Go ahead and break it up. Good simmer. You don't want to boil, you want to simmer. I mean, you don't have to do everything all at once here. Oh, yikes. What's up, Simple Life? Welcome back. Yeah, well, nobody's eating your clam. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like me. I never liked wine until I went to Italy. You know, once you eat something or drink something good, if you grow up drinking box wine, you're probably not going to like wine, you know? What's going on, Rabina? How you doing tonight? Keep this at a nice simmer. You know, if it reduces too much, we'll just add a little bit more clam juice, a little bit more wine, kind of reduce it to where we want it to go. Or, pro tip, we'll add some of that salted, starchy pasta water if we need it stretched out a bit. Go check how much time I got left of the pasta. Probably got about 7 minutes left. What's up, Neva? We got about 5 minutes until we need to drain our pasta. It's just not what Dottie's used to. That's all, Lakita. I think she wants to bang me, Rabina. Well, maybe it's going to be a hate bang then, Dottie, you know. We'll consider it. You got a rule, though. If you got to ask, it's not for you. just a little bit. Well, no, we're not gonna. Yeah, we're gonna add just a sprinkle of salt and just a little bit of lemon juice in there. The guy 87. Oh, that was a good splatter. Yeah. Now we're going to go ahead and put our clam in. Oh yeah, we'll put a lot of clam in. Well, it's got a lot of that salty clam juice in there, so we probably won't need to add any pasta water after all. Well, Daenerys, you can always add a little bit of pasta water and refresh it. It'll be okay. I think you're right, Dottie. Black pepper or red pepper? That's really the only question here. But a couple of good cranks of black pepper. Stir that around. We're going to keep this simple here, you know. I've already added plenty of bullshit to it. Oh yeah, that taste is going to work out. Thank you, Dottie. Now, when we're doing our extracurriculars, can I call you Dorothy, though? That would probably get me off. Yeah, I'm just making food for myself. Maybe I need to lick your spatula, Indian. Well, let's just ask, have a poll. When do we think Indian's spatula last got licked? I'm sure her kitchen would pass health code, you know? Absolutely. I'm going to go drain off my pasta, save a little bit of the pasta water just in case. Alright, so we got the pasta drained off. Concur. I'm just cooking for myself tonight, India. So we're going to put some of that nice starchy, salty water in. because according to Daenerys, I reduced the sauce too much. But I don't necessarily agree or disagree, but let's go ahead, throw our pasta in there. Get it all nice and salty, or saucy, whatever you want to call it. Throw the parsley in there. I guess I gotta go find something to serve this in. I'm looking for a pasta bowl. I think I got one close. It ain't gonna look super sexy or anything like that, but guess what? It's gonna be delicious. It's gonna be a cheap seafood dinner. Oh yeah, well, I bet I could do things that would make your blood pressure go through the roof, Dorothy. Just saying. Let's make sure we got something to put the clamps on her. Get a little bit more. There we go. Kill your heat. Off to the side. Now, I want more clam. I want to eat some clam tonight, so let's make sure we get some of the clam in the offering, you know. Just a little bit of the clam on top, just like that. Wish I would have saved some of the fresh parsley for, you know, plating douchebag purposes, but you know, I'll just imagine this is fresh. Oh yeah, that's super fresh. Woohoo! Yeah, that's good to go. And we'll give it a crack of black pepper. And hold on, one more douchebag move I got in my repertoire. Oh, we're gonna grate some lemon zest over the top of it. Woohoo! I think that works. Let's go ahead, kill the GoPro. Don't want any more evidence. I don't know. The Italians would come after you for that, Daenerys. I think it's good as is. Here's my fork. But now, you look at the time it took and how cheap it was. And the most important fact is, does it taste good? Not fresh clams, but pretty damn close. No, it's not gonna be fresh, but you got the flavoring. I got the flavoring right. Oh, thank you, Dorothy. Big fan of Daenerys. So you got steep competition if you're gonna overtake her, Dottie. You know, the gift that I gave myself was learning to cook. I'll tell you that right now. Oh, I was hitting the spot, Lakita. This is why I love eating clam. You know, and as you saw, it was pretty simple, you know. Yeah, the edge is pointed away, you know. But really, you're not using, it's not like you're trying to, look at my channel, Danny. I've made caprese salads in the past, you know. What are you talking? You know, basil, tomato, mozzarella, a little bit of oils, salt, pepper, and a little bit of balsamic vinegar, Daenerys. We could do that. That's pretty easy. And then we could even title it low carb, keto friendly for those freaks. Well, Dorothy, I learned a lot from my dad, who learned at the fire department. And then I've tried to learn a little bit everywhere that I've lived. And honestly, a lot of it's been just talking to girlfriends' moms in the kitchen. Also talking to, you know, you order something really good at a restaurant, depending on where you're at, you know, you say, hey, this was really good. How did you make it? And then they come out and then they say, oh, yeah, thank you so much, you know. And, you know, if somebody really loves cooking and you ask them how they did it, they love to share, you know, because really they're just trying to make good food, and making good food makes people happy. Man, one thing, you know, I feel like people that know how to cook, you know, and don't have to eat out every meal, you know, tend to be happier, healthier people, you know, and life's good, you know. What's going on, Karen? Leonard? Is that an alias or is that your real name? No, I'm a fan of Australia. Well, tonight was an experiment, you know. Put a camera up top, trying to get a downward angle with the GoPro or whatever, and I was hoping this would turn out like it did, so I could make like a little 3-minute video on how to make white trash clam pasta, you know. Yeah, kangaroos are cool. And when I'm cooking with wine, I make sure to use like a wine that I would enjoy to drink, because you know that flavor is still gonna be on a dish. So don't use bottom shelf bullshit when you're cooking with wine. Otherwise, that shit flavor stays with the dish. So you don't need top shelf or anything like that. But you know, if you buy a wine for, you know, $9, you know, and you enjoy drinking it, that's perfect. Don't need the $100 bottle, but don't get the box wine $3 bottle shit. Yeah, why wouldn't I? You know. I don't know, Mohammed. Is that a trap? tell you what, that's not bad for making pasta with canned clams, you know? You're gonna have to work for that, Dottie. I'd much rather take a visit to Canada and have a drink with Daenerys. Oh, thank you, Mohammed. That's very kind of you. You know, when I was living in Pittsburgh, I had, one of my neighbors turned out to be a really good friend, was Persian. I think you would just have to slow cook it and braise it. It might be gamey, but I don't think it's any worse than probably venison. I guess it really depends what the kangaroo is eating. I mean, because if you shoot a deer in lower Michigan, where it just eats corn all day, and it tastes delicious. But if you shoot a deer, up in the UP when they're eating bark and trees and shit, they taste like ass. Probably not as good as Dottie's, but they still taste like ass. Careful what you wish for. Well, white or black or brown kangaroo doesn't make a difference to me, Cameron. Yeah, they're not really big fans of seafood. And there was no cheese, they know. Oh, well, this just got interesting. I hope you're talking about a literal raccoon, Jethro. But no. But that would be funny, though. One of my favorite videos was just a big rat in New York City dragging a piece of pizza down in the subway, and that was like a Ninja Turtle memes where the sensei was just trying to feed his family. That was a good one. In my experience, it tastes about the same, Cameron. No, Jethro's been here before. I think he's literally talking about a raccoon running around with a meth pipe. No, if I had to say anything, I would say Peter North is borderline racist with that one. That's, it's all about the mad dog, though, to be honest. All you gotta say, Jethro, was you're talking about the little, 15-pound trash panda. That's all you gotta say. No, he said raccoon, not coon. I'm not sure if he's trying to imply something, but I think he's talking about the actual little, varmint. What's going on? Yeah, I mean, that's true, guy 87. I mean, where I'm from, if you're talking, talking around about going hunting and stuff like that, or a coonskin hat or whatever. Oh, that escalated quickly, Dorothy. There you go, Jethro. Yeah, thank you for clarifying. You already missed the 11th throw of the night, Terry, but welcome back. Oh, thank you. I got my steps in today. See? 18,000. Now let's get all on the same page. Nah, I'm from Michigan, honey. Let's get all on the same page. Michelob Ultras suck ass. Agree or disagree? Oh shit, you must be from Ohio. No, there are meth heads everywhere. I'm a big fan of Labatt Blue, Daenerys. Big fan. It's a power move, Big World. Let me know how it works out for you. I'm assuming it wasn't like a Jeffrey Dahmer situation, but yeah, I mean, I think it's okay if you make fun of everybody equally. And if you're just, shooting the shit or whatever, that's one thing. Start to put malice or when jobs and, you know, things like that get into it. Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. Yeah, well, Ohio has the worst drivers in the country. Oh, yeah, it was excellent. Sorry you missed out. Just a little clam pasta tonight. Yeah, well, that's why you're an AMA. I do believe in free speech for the most part. Spamming's not allowed. If you're gonna be a troll, you gotta at least be entertaining. I like Texas. I mean, I think most of the country would say Texas is better than Oklahoma, Jethro. This one's for you, Terry. I'm gonna go see what I got in the fridge for dessert here. Yeah, Tesla, the drivers were assholes at the beginning, in the present, and in the future. Ah, shit, yeah. But Minnesota and Illinois don't do anything for the world, you know. They all suck. At least Ohio's created some astronauts. I mean, although they hate Ohio so much, they got to try to get it as far away as possible. That's why they all go to the moon. Florida's cool. Yeah, that got you hot and bothered, didn't it, Lakita? No, don't get me started on NYC. Oh, we're in business. Dude, malls still exist? That explains a lot, Dorothy. Got butter. Got, oh yeah. We're going to Pound Town tonight. Hold on. I gotta go look for something. Oh yeah, we're in business, boys. This one's for the boys. That's what she said. Yeah, these strawberries are probably past where you want to eat eating them regularly, but we're gonna bring them back. Kind of like Easter Sunday for Jesus. Yeah. Let's go ahead and take the tops off of them, and we're just gonna quarter them up real quick. Yeah. Make sure your knife's clean. You don't want clam juice on your berries. You could be Peter North 69. What's going on, Dan? Yeah, let's go ahead and warm this pan up. We're going to make sure it's clean first. Here's there's some bullshit in it. Hold on, I gotta wash this out. Oh, I guarantee you my pots cost more than your pots, Dottie. But you're right, I only got one 8-incher. Most of the time I use a 10. We did talk about box wine a little bit earlier. Not a big fan. We're drinking Chardonnay. Nope, two brothers, but they're both decent. Well, one's good looking and the other one makes a lot of money if you want to bang them, not a troll. Thank you, Lakita. I'm a man. I like to eat. Oh, yeah. Well, you might be a communist if you went to North Korea, big world. I don't like commies here. Well, that's up in the game, Jethro. Give your spoon a quick rub down here. You're going to need it here. Probably don't need that much butter. Probably need about half of that. You can always add more. I'm Andy. You know what? Hold on. Did we just become best friends? Yeah, I think we did. God bless America. Alright, you might be redeeming people named Dan, you know? Butter in. Oh, shit. Make sure there's not any packaging still on your butter. You know, some lessons are best learned the hard way, Lakita. Well, please, put me on your mailing list, though. I am curious. Sorry. That was a low blow. I am also a texter after drinking. Strawberry Walcott? You're gonna have to pay me for that, Guy 87. If you're good at something, never do it for free. Oh, that's awesome, Lakita. Good for you, hon. What are you doing in your new job? Sometimes I like white sugar, sometimes I like brown sugar. I think tonight's a brown sugar night. What do y'all think? Let that start to caramelize. Now you got your butter over, you know, kind of low heat. You're in no rush here, right? I'll go for you. You know, a job's a job. Oh yeah, pledge allegiance to the flag, yada yada yada. Well. I'm not too stressed about cross-contamination or anything like that, but I do care about mixing and matching flavors. So make sure your utensils are clean, more or less, you know. So we'll go ahead, throw those in there, and we're going to let them break down a little bit. Once again, this is on low heat. You don't want to burn your sugar or your butter, for that matter. Hey, well, big world, you know, don't call the champions a game, you know. But yeah, I mean, as the strawberries break down, they'll release some more sugar. And you know, there's one more step to this process. Actually, a couple. This big serving of ice cream here. Oh yeah. I'm gonna make that look pretty, yeah? Caller, who's Carla? Yeah, old guy 87, this one's for you. It's good to be a renter. As soon as those break down, we'll be on to the next step. You can give it a little bit of a physical job. I don't know, do you soak? No, misread that one. As soon as that kind of syrup starts to turn red, we'll move on to the next step here. And we might get, not really, but growing up, our dogs would always get in fights with them, so we'd have to go and take care of the situation. Sometimes it be that way, Dottie. Sweet dreams. You know what you're dreaming about. See you next time. Not gonna stay for the ice cream sundae here. Oh yeah, we're getting close. Oh yeah, you don't want to mess with sharks. That's right. I'm more of a fan of bushwhacking, Peter. I'm sure kangaroo meat is our... Well, that's cool too, 87. Whatever you're into. Oh, no, I want to keep that on. Alright. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and turn up the heat a little bit. Oh, yeah, get that sizzling nice and good there. Spray out these guys here. Make sure I got an oh shit handle ready. A little bit of rum. Let that get cooking off there. sorry, oh shit cover. If you're in a car, it's called a handle. If it's cooking, it's an oh shit cover. If you're lighting things on fire, you want to make sure you have something that can take away the oxygen. If you pour water on it, it's just going to spread it every which way. We're done. We're done. Go ahead, kill the heat. I mean, you can reduce the syrup if you want, but it's the color, the consistency that I want it at, alright? And listen, if you're trying to, finish a date strong, you make sure to make an easy dessert that impresses people, that's not hard, and also looks good. And then if you got a couple fresh mint leaves, go ahead and throw that on top. It's going to make a world of difference, but I don't have any currently. The pan's going to be a mess to clean, but oh yeah. Melty goodness. And honestly, scoop your ice cream ahead of time so it stays hard. You always want to stay hard longer when you're scooping ice cream. And then when you put your hot syrup on it, it doesn't melt immediately like it does if your ice cream's been sitting out for a few minutes. Between the pasta and the dessert for 2 servings, I think you could do this meal for under 10 bucks. Definitely under 15 for the 2 of you. Throw in wine, you're talking a nice dinner for 2 people. For under 20 bucks, you can probably throw in a salad in as well. I mean, pro tip, if you're making dinner for date night, I mean, you're a lot closer to home than if you go out to a restaurant. But what do I know? Well, that escalated quickly. I'm not Jeffrey Dahmer. No, I agree. Local always tastes better. Watermelon's expensive here. You could do this same thing with blackberries or raspberries and a little bit of lemon juice over vanilla ice cream. That would be excellent, 87. Just use what you have, But as you can see, the strawberries were sad. They needed to be used. Or you could use frozen berries of any type, all right? Well, I'm gonna get a big one, and it's about $1.75 a pound here, Terry. So that was an excellent meal. It was cheap, but it is almost 11 o'clock here in Hawaii, and that's my bedtime. So I still got a lot of bullshit to clean up. Welcome to the club, Real Deal. Good to see you. Yeah, sometimes the smaller melons have a better texture. You know, they're a little bit firmer and less saggy, Jethro. I don't know if you've ever found that as well. Sometimes bigger just for bigger sake isn't cool. I don't even know if it needs to be more than a handful. I mean, as long as it's got good, texture, tone, and taste. Sometimes if you got really big melons and you bend over and pick them up, you hurt your back. Sometimes big melons hurt your back, and that's not cool. Yeah, they definitely do stay on the vine better. That's for sure, Guy 87. But God bless America. God bless you all. I'm going to bed. Calling it a night. Yeah, well, don't judge. Someday you might be there too. Probably like 10 minutes, Lakita. It's 10:46 my time, so I'm calling it. Sweet dreams, everybody. Maris, if you're still in here, meet me at the border. Good night, Lakita.